So Nick, could you just introduce yourself and a bit about your ministerial role as well, please?
My name is Nick Hurd. I'm the Minister for Civil Society, and I'm responsible for what the government is doing to try and support charities and social enterprises across the country.
So today's event is looking at the climate for voluntary and community organisations. What's your message today to some of the audience?
Well, this is an event where the organisers said there's lots of things to be concerned about and lots of things to be worried about, particularly for the voluntary sector, because it's a very, very difficult time at the moment, and we know that. But this is a conference about trying to think more positively about the opportunities in the future. So I wanted to come and support that and talk a bit about some of the opportunities I see and some of the brilliant things that are happening in communities across the country, which we want to encourage and support more of.
So in May we had the Civil Exchange release their report, the Big Society audit, and suggested that there needed to be a greater vision for the government's Big Society idea. How are you taking that forward?
Well, I think there's a very powerful vision about wanting to try and encourage better connected communities where more people are working together for the common good, trying to create space for charities and social enterprises to do more. What we're doing now is getting on and delivering the stuff that we said we would do. So, for example, we said we want to make it easier for charities and social enterprises to access capital, long-term affordable finance. So we've worked very hard to create a new institution called Big Society Capital. It's going to have £600 million of money, and that's a lot of money in this day and age, to do just that, make it easier for charities and social enterprises to access capital. So we're kind of we're getting on and delivering what we said we would do, and trying to do what we can to support charities and social enterprises through a very difficult time.
And obviously your job is managing the dynamic between existing organisations, charities that are already on the ground there doing work, and perhaps encouraging more of that in the Big Society. How have you kind of managed that?
Well, it's happening. So I was in Sunderland this morning in Hendon, and we were talking with a group of residents who we've encouraged to come together as a panel to help us distribute it's £30 million of grants across the country, which is all about trying to encourage really grassroots, community-led projects and action, often delivered by existing voluntary groups. But what we hope is that new voluntary groups will be formed to try and take forward ideas. And there are people in communities across the country who've got brilliant ideas on how to improve the area. We just want to try and make it a bit easier for some of these things to happen. So we've got organisers in Hendon, community organisers in Sunderland now, going out trying to mobilise people, trying to find people with ideas, trying to connect them with other people, trying to get the feeling out there, a bit more confidence that people can actually get some things going and can do things and can help themselves rather than relying on other people. And that's powerful. That's very, very powerful. And I've just come down from a meeting with some of the top philanthropists in the northeast, successful businesses, Peter Vardy, people like this who are very committed to give back to their communities and try and support a lot of this sort of grassroots community action. And that's, as I said, there's lots of things to be gloomy about and uncertain about, but actually there's lots of very positive things going on, and that's what we want to throw a spotlight on today.
Sure. Well, that was going to be my next question, really, was about the role of business. And obviously in Bdaily we hear from lots of businesses who have corporate social responsibility agendas. How might they fit into your idea of the Big Society?
They're central to it, because there's a tendency to think about the Big Society as being just about the voluntary sector or the relationship between government and the voluntary sector. It's not. It's about the relationship between government, business and the voluntary sector, and business has a hugely important role to play, because the workplace is such a powerful environment for changing how people think. And as you say, I think more and more businesses want to get more involved in their community. They know that we as a society, in terms of customers, employees and shareholders, are thinking about business in a different way, demanding different things of business. And I think they want to play a bigger part in supporting the communities they're part of. And part of what we're thinking about is how can we encourage more of that? How can we make it easier for them to give what they've got? So we've supported a new idea called Business Connectors, and we've got a Business Connector in Redcar and one starting in Sunderland, courtesy of Lloyd's Bank. And these are people whose job is to make better connections between local businesses and local charities. And again, this is all part of a new movement to try and get all the bits of society working together a bit better.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much for chatting to us.
Thank you.
you.